World Series. Run it back. Cody Ponce. Oh! Hello and welcome to the final team profile and projections. What? The final two teams. That means it's over. That means baseball's here. I just don't know. The team profile and projections on Talkin' Baseball are presented to you by T-Mobile. I am Jake Stromboli. That is Trevor Plouffe. We're here, Coach. The final two, and they happen to be last year's final two.
I forgot to give the batter. I'm going Jesus Sanchez against Cody Ponce. That happened in live BP during spring training. I wonder what the results are. I have another take on Jesus Sanchez later. I'm doing great, Pop. I'm excited. The season is here. Like, we're here, dude. We get the Wednesday night opener, which is what? It's the Giants-Yankees, right?
Yes, sir. We'll
Big time matchup right there. I just coached way too much youth baseball this week and
no
had
such
to really.
thing.
I had to be a dad too, though, because Teddy did not have a good tournament, so he was down on himself. So I had to pick him up. It's a lot, Coach, but I'm excited to talk about these two teams because you're right. This is the World Series matchup, 7 games. You know, the WBC. Hey, great, dude. Like, it kind of made us forget about this series. This series was an all-timer. We had a great time covering it. I'd love to see a rematch of it, and we might because these two teams are pretty stacked.
It was amazing. I mean, even games 6 and 7, Trevor just did the hands alone, just had moments throughout and out that ended up changing the course of the season, ended up changing the course of how we talk about the whole offseason,
dude. The world.
CBA. How early did Sharks exist? Yeah, man, it is crazy to think about all the conjecture that's come from the final result between these two baseball teams that did play one of, like, this isn't us being caught up in the moment of we're two podcast guys and, say whatever you want. This was one of the best World Series ever. Yeah.
Let's pull back the curtain a little bit because for the, 3 minutes that we thought Miguel Rojas was on PEDs, the first thing you said, this is a little nice thing to tell the Toronto fans. You said, Toronto fans are going to be so upset. Like, that's the first thing that went to your mind.
Imagine
him hitting the homer, him making the backhand play. Luckily for Miggy and I guess Toronto fans and Dodgers fans, it ended up being Johan Rojas, but you did go straight to your people of Toronto.
I'm always thinking about the people of Toronto, and sometimes they're thinking about me in a not so hot way, but I think we can be hot on it for a second, Trev, because the number 2 team in the team profile and projections, up from 22nd last year, is the Toronto Blue Jays. 94-68. They won the American League, and they went to the World Series. They lost in 7 games to the Dodgers. They had the second best home record. They had the best batting average and the best on base. Do you like that? They were first in DRS. They were ranked the number 1 defensive team in a lot of metrics. And it was just a fun brand of baseball. Watching the Blue Jays play every night was a real treat. And it almost was so close to being the ultimate goal. Who will be gone this year from the Toronto Blue Jays? So this is an interesting one. Bo Bichette. I don't know if we fully processed that and how stable of a hitter he had been outside of 1 year with Toronto. He is now a New York Met third baseman, maybe. We'll let them figure that out. Sir Anthony Dominguez is gone. He's the White Sox closer. How do you like that? Bassett is pitching for Baltimore, staying in the AL East. IKF stayed. He's in Boston. Manoah's out of town. Remember all of that? And then a couple guys traded away. Joey Loperfido, Justin Brule. Ty France was bopping around. Remember all of that? That's who's gone for Toronto, Coach Trev. Who's coming back?
I mean, they took that World Series money in that I don't even know who owns them. Rogers, whatever. They took it and they spent it, Coach, because they brought in some big names. Starting with our guy Dylan Cease, comes over from the pods, 7 years, $210 million. And he's kind of like an eclectic weirdo. So I don't know what's in his basement. It might be nunchucks. It might be like movie posters.
Frisbees.
He seems like that kind of guy. What'd you say?
I'd say frisbees and Japanese liquor.
Yeah, like he's a what's it called?
Big disc golf guy.
Disc golf guy. They're not called frisbees, are they?
I think so. I'm not
discs.
I'm not as deep in that community as I'd like.
I could see you being in. Jom's into that. Yeah. Anyways, big time starting pitcher, probably the prize of the offseason in that regards. He comes over, big strikeout guy, as we all know. Another guy, he's coming over from the KBO, Cody Ponce. Going to be in that starting rotation. 29 games last year in the KBO, 180 and 2/3 innings pitched to a 1.89. Do you like it, Jake? You like it. I'm not even going to ask you to answer that. Tyler Rogers, my king. Down there. Go get it. 3 years, $37 million. The 2029 has a vesting option. It turns into a $9 million club option if not vested. He spent last year in San Francisco and the Mets. We saw him on Team USA just doing like he was the best pitcher.
Whole time.
Came in and got the biggest outs of the tournament. He is now in that bullpen for Toronto. And how about, hey, let's not spend money just bring guys over from the KBO. Let's not bring guys from other teams in the big leagues. Let's go to Japan as well and get Kazuma Okamoto coming over on a 4-year, $60 million deal as well. 314 plate appearances last year, 15 homers to a 992 OPS in the MPB. They also made some trades. They brought over Jesus Sanchez. Go look at his Baseball Savant over the last couple of years. You're going to find some things you want. And here's my take. I'm going to give it right off at the top of the episode. David Popkins is going to turn this guy into a motherfucking star. And we're going to be like, okay, it is David Popkins' world. We're just living in it. How about Chase Lee coming over, reliever from the Tigers last year, 37 and a third innings pitched to a 4.10. They signed some guys to minor league deals, blah, 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 blah. They also brought back Max Scherzer on a 1-year, $3 million deal. He pitched 17 games for them last year, 85 innings pitched. We saw him in the postseason have a really nice run there as well. And then kind of an interesting one, Eloy Jimenez. Didn't spend any time in the big leagues last year, but still a name a lot of people will remember. So they brought in a ton of people from a ton of different places, relievers, bats, starting pitchers. They reinforced what already was one of the better rosters in all of baseball, Jake. So why don't we go to the lineup? And you talked about how good they were last year. And I don't think they were supposed to be good last year. Or like people didn't, they used to be known as the defensive team. They're a run prevention team with a couple big bats in the middle. Yes.
Are you looking and a liking? Because it's an interesting question.
I am looking and I'm a liking. Yes. Okay. Because I know who's pulling the strings back there, who the puppeteer is. My guy, David. Plus, like, there are some certified bangers here.
Yeah.
Look, George Springer had an incredible year last year. Does he repeat that? I don't know, dude. He's like 36 years old. I'm not banking against him. The guy's been a banger his whole career. So I like George Springer at the top. Dalton Varsho there. Go look what he's been able to do. He's your doppelganger in center field. Vladdy Jr., obviously a guy. Addison Barger, whoa, look out what he could be. Alejandro Kirk, he's a stud. So top 5 right there, Jake. Yeah, I'm a looking. Yeah, I'm a liking. And then this is where it does get interesting. Jesus Sanchez, like, he's got the bat speed. He's got some things that you like about his game. Some of the exit velo stuff. Can Popkins tap into that, get him more contact oriented? Because that's what this team does. That's what they're known for. So that's what he's not known for. So get him up in those regards. Now you're looking at a complete hitter. So yeah, Jesus Sanchez out there in left field. Okamoto. It's Okamoto. How am I not saying that right now? What am I doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound rude. It just sounds like I thought you were like a step ahead because it seems like Okamoto's the obvious route, but
it's Okamoto, and that's my bad. Third base, I'm very curious to see how that plays out at the big league level over 162. I think a lot of people in Toronto are as well. Ernie Clement, He's also a fascinating case story because we saw what he did in the postseason, but you also know his career numbers. So
Right.
that people have those kind of like misaligned a little bit. Fine ball player. Andres Gimenez, horrible offensive year last year. Had some big hits in the playoffs, but obviously a Gold Glove type middle infielder. Tyler Heineman on the bench. Nathan Lucas can be a stud. David Schneider is a stud. Miles Straw out there playing some defense as well. And then we got Santander, who's not going to be back until August at the earliest. So I like the lineup. I actually do like the depth they have on their bench. Remember, Tyler Heineman was hitting like 400 through the first 3 months of the season last year. I'm liking. Jake, tell us about the rotation and the bullpen.
So it started how it starts out in Toronto, the past handful of years now. Kevin Gossman, if you cut up stats between innings pitched and ERA, a lot of those lists are going to have Kevin Gossman near the top. Dylan Cease will slot in as the 2, and we know he's got a little every other year going on. When he taps in, he's a potential Cy Young contender. As of right now, and because we're closer to the season, we can do this. It looks like Eric Lauer is going to get the start for Game 3. Cody Ponce, our guy, was it you, me, and him in Scottsdale at one point? And then Max Scherzer, the old dog, is going to be bringing up the rear, and he's got a ton of incentives in that contract. Max, keep twirling the ball because I think he could have 10 mil coming his way. And then when you look at the IR, and I don't know if this is scary or optimistic, Savage, currently without a timeline, right shoulder impingement. So that's obviously going to be a big part of their season and how they can navigate that. Shane Bieber with, him accepting that contract and then forearm fatigue. Let's see when he can get back. Jose Barrios, he's got a stress fracture. Struggled with that one. Could be eyeing May. And then Bowden Francis out for the year. So, I mean, there's a world where that could have been a nice 4 guys in the rotation. And we'll see how much we'll see the rest of them. And we'll see a couple young guys, Jake Bloss. Yep. And then a couple Southpaws, Ricky Tiedemann and Adam Macko. I saw you on Team Canada, Adam, representing. Learning from James Paxton. Give me the article now. In the bullpen, Jeff Hoffman in that closer role. Tyler Rogers, like you mentioned. Louis Varland, because the Twins traded away a whole bullpen to the AL East. Brendan Little, Braden Fisher, Tommy Nance, Mason Fluharty. And then they've got a little bit of competition for a long reliever role. Jimmy Garcia's hurt. Spencer Miles, Rule 5. All right, Trev, we did the nitty gritty. Those are the Toronto Blue Jays. Today's episode is sponsored by MLB The Show. MLB The Show 2026 is almost here. The World Baseball Classic is back. Take on real-life World Baseball Classic teams from all over the world with your Diamond Dynasty squad in the online mode. Step up to the plate in brand-new World Baseball Classic ballparks, including the Tokyo Dome, Estadio Hiram Bithorn in Puerto Rico. 2026 game features include Road to the Show, Road to Cooperstown, the Negroes League Mode Season 4, and updated franchise mode experience. And get this, if you visit MLBthe.show/Jomboy and you use code Jomboy, you can unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Internet connection is required, people. How great is that? Available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. I think the conversation for me starts, it's the only hitting coach we really talk about on this show. And it's why I asked you about the lineup, because the Blue Jays were the best team in the American League last year. I don't know about start to finish, but pretty close. They're most fun to watch. They played the best brand of baseball. You have Vladdy as stable as a hitter in the middle of a lineup. You had Bo, so that feels different. But it also felt like we saw an evolution from this team from Addison Barger. I think you threw out like a Chipper Jones comp, the way that guy was playing baseball. Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't say.
I didn't say that. I like the player.
I think I could find receipts on that. They were just so fun, man. And hey, seeing first in batting average, first and on base from that lineup, makes me wonder when we look at sports and we look at evolutions of the game, if Toronto is ahead of everyone on the hitting side of the ball, they've got enough pitching, they've got enough resources. Like, I I guess how real is this? Because I think there's only been one team since 1961 to go back to the World Series after losing a game 7, and that was your Kansas City Royals, Coach Trev, in 2014, 2015. So it's an uphill task for any team.
I saw that note by Dalt there, and just I threw up a little bit in my mouth. Anytime those
Yeah.
teams get mentioned, it was just very tough for old Coach Trev to see that ball club just spring forward in front of the Twins and into the World Series. What's the question? Like, do I like this lineup? Why do I like it? Why do I think David Popkins is so damn good? I'll tell you why I think he's so good. And
Okay.
I've talked to people that have
So
played
you
for
knew the
him.
question. You were just re-teeing it up.
Maybe. Isn't that what Netflix has to do with all their movies now? That's like a thing that's out there. Because people can't pay attention anymore. So they have to talk about the plot every single arc of, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I have talked to people about David Popkins and like what he does well. Now, I never was a hitter for him, but I was there when he was with the Twins, and I talked to guys about him. There's a couple of things that he does really well that I think has really transferred into this lineup. Like, yeah, sir, you have some guys that doesn't matter who's the hitting coach. Jake, Dan Rourke could be the hitting coach, then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be fine. But there are times where you combined what I think Pop has, and that is he has things that he wants the club to look like. Yes, he wants them to be contact oriented. He wants them to put the ball in play, does not want them to strike out. But the thing that everyone talks about is game planning. Game planning for that pitcher. And what that means is like, hey, like we're going to eliminate pitches on this guy. We're going to give him this part of the plate. We're going to sit here, and he has these guys buying into it. So that's how you go from, an offense that, is going to be, top 10 in some categories to what we saw the Blue Jays do and carry over into the postseason as well. So again, like I'm looking at an Addison Barger, and some of the quotes that are coming out of spring training from Pop on him are already great. How good he looks. I do look at a Jesus Sanchez as some sort of like a swing type player for this team. They're already going to be good, but if you start to lengthen that lineup deeper and you have a Jesus Sanchez, who by the way is like 95th percentile in bat speed, like you translate that into a little bit more contact, look out. Ernie Clement, like can we get more of what we saw in the postseason? This guy now, like he was almost won the World Series, Jake, with one swing of the bat until Andy Pa has caught that ball. He was almost a hero. Now he's playing on the Team USA in the WBC. This guy's confidence is through the fucking roof right now. If he can carry that over and he's what he was during the postseason, that lengthens the lineup. Okay, like Okamoto, what is he going to be? Can that translate? You start to look up and down, and you can say, even without Andres Jimenez, you're like 1 through 8 is a problem. And then Andres Jimenez is going to get big hits because you know why? He learned it in Cleveland, dude. That like they don't have offense. Every once in a while, somebody gets a big hit, and he's part of that too. So he's going to do that for them throughout the year. It's a long lineup. Again, I like the depth on the bench as well. So they're going to continue to be one of the better offenses in baseball. There's no doubt about that. And that's before, Jake, we even get to talking about, the rotation help they brought in. Don't ask me about the bullpen because I'm going to say some silly things about this freaking Blue Jays bullpen. I'm bought in on these. I'm bought in on the team. I am.
Good. I before we hop over to the pitching, I say something nice about the Blue Jays. I like their versatility options between Ernie Clement, who can move all over, between Addison Barger, who can move all over, Okamoto, Okamoto, who's supposedly a pretty versatile player. Like, let's see who he is this year at the major league level. I think the Blue Jays have a wide variety of ways this can work, which I'll put that in an interesting / useful bucket. Like a lot of the guys I just mentioned aren't versatile because they don't play defense. It's versatile because they're actually versatile. And then I guess the other just asterisk over this is Andres Jimenez taking over at shortstop, but if we're talking about concerns on this team, like some people are blessed to play baseball defensively on this planet, and Andres Gimenez is clearly one of them.
I think a lot of Toronto fans, yes, they miss Bo at the plate, but they're going to watch Andres Gimenez at shortstop throughout the year and be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's different when you have guys at the middle, which they do now. And didn't Okamoto win like a bunch of like Gold Glove equivalents in Japan? Dalton, will you please check that out real quick?
The whole Okamoto thing smelled to heaven. Is that a phrase?
That's not.
Well, the whole Okamoto thing smelled to heaven because it was like, yeah, we're not sure if he plays defense, but oh yeah, he's a great defender. And yeah, we're not sure if he's going to hit, but he hits and he hits with power. And you're just like, what is this scouting report? It's 2026. Figure it out.
They're going to have a lot of fun, Blue Jays fans, watching Clement and Jimenez up the middle. I guarantee that. And then, you have all the other guys that get it done on the defensive side there. So again, we talked about this offense has the length. They have pop, like especially give me like a full year of like I'm established myself in the big leagues, Addison Barger, and just see what's going to come of it. Like he's like a 35 homer guy. Like I don't think there's like. Give me the over-under on homers. I'm taking the over, which, by the way, I think we're doing an episode on that. I might just take Addison Barger homers this year.
2-time Gold Gloves for Okamoto, 21 and 22. So I don't know. A lot of the cats I've seen come from that league that can field pretty damn well over here. I guess with that, and Trev, you mentioned Barger. I think he has significant breakout potential. He was so fun to watch. And Dalton Varsho kind of happened. It's been surrounded by injuries, but Varsho and Barger could be a sneaky left-handed power duo surrounding Vlad. That, yeah, I think the pieces come together. We haven't even mentioned Alejandro Kirk just because he's the king of the world. Like Nathan Lucas is currently listed on the bench. Him and Schneider, who Nathan Lucas in the postseason last year was one of the baddest men on the field. So I think you're right. I don't have concerns about the offense. It's just going to be very interesting to see where and when it settles. And then on the pitching side, I mean, we could talk about injuries because we could do that with every team. But at the top, Gossman and Cease are two of the best at taking the pill every day. Right now, the second half of the rotation, what are Lauer, Ponce, and Scherzer going to look like? I don't know, but they're also going to have reinforcements joining them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that is a... If I'm a Blue Jays fan, that's where I'm looking right now as far as concerns about getting back to the World Series. I guess you can say, hey, like we're going to be in the mix, so we are going to get, Savage and Bieber and Barrios back at some point. And when they do come back, we'll still be in the hunt. But that is something that's concerning right now because again, you really don't know. Injuries can be weird, and Scherzer at his age, that can be an interesting thing. So that is where you're pointing to. I think if you're a Toronto fan, like okay, the depth can be there. I think there's a high ceiling and kind of a low floor as far as this rotation goes. But we've also seen teams with 3 starters, like do just fine. Like you got to find the innings, but you don't necessarily have 5 guys that are going to rely on every single day. You're going to piece that together. We've seen that from almost every single team in the big leagues. And like very rarely do we see a full 5 rotation go throughout the year. So I think some of those concerns are just kind of, we're looking at it on paper and it'll play out throughout the season. They'll be okay. I do have a concern. One area in the bullpen, I think we need some more lefty help. And is that a Tiedemann thing during the year? Like, is that where he's going to fit in? Coming back from TJ, probably not going to like be a starter right away, or at least built up to where like they'd want him. So does he become like a lefty weapon in the bullpen? Like, is that where we're going with that? That's where I go to right now. I know Tyler Rogers can get lefties out as well, but that's because I do think this bullpen has like massive potential. I like thinking about, even though Louis Varland gave some homers last year in the postseason, I think a full season of him, Toronto fans are really going to like what he brings, and just like, give me the pill every single day. I'm going to throw my arm out like he is 1,000,000% at all times. You're going to love him. I promise that. But I think the lefties in the bullpen are also something I'm looking at.
Yeah, I mean, Brendan Little got worn out towards the end of last year. Flu Hardy broke out on the scene and was kind of nice. Or was nice, excuse me. Yeah, and I don't know. With pitching prospects, it's so tricky. I mean, Tiedemann at one point, I think, was the highest rated lefty pitching prospect in the game, and then he went through injury. So, like, if that guy by mid-season looks like a starter, you know, what do they need? Do they need him to be a starting pitcher? Do they need a reliever? Mako, I think he came out of the pen for Canada and he looked pretty nice there. So I think they've got options on the way. I think the pitching's going to figure itself out. And I remember last year's TPP, their bullpen really let them down the year before that it had a lot of the makings of the recipe. And I don't know. It's just whether we're doing our position units draft, a bullpen could go haywire. Again, the team we're going to talk about last, the Dodgers, seem to have one of the most bulletproof bullpens last year, and they were one of the worst bullpens in the league. So try not to get caught up in that too much. But, we haven't mentioned Yariel Rodriguez, who the last time I saw him in the WBC, he was in a bullpen role throwing 98 and looking disgusting. So I think the Blue Jays deserve to be up here in the rankings. I ended last episode them in Seattle. I think you could go back and forth on that all day. I personally think I would give Seattle a slight nod talent wise, but like we're saying, and this is my sports brain starts to wander, and it's where I started. What if they figured out hitting at a different level, whether that's Popkins, whether that's pitch analysis, whether that's something else? Because last year watching that team play baseball was badass. That if they are still a step above like 80% of the league with their approach to hitting, then, it's the way we treat the Brewers with pitching, or it's the way we treat any of the teams that are at an advanced level on that side of the ball.
What's funny is you think about, again, I think going into last year, we had them pegged as like a more run prevention type team. Again, like there was some guys in the middle of that order, but they kind of broke out offensively. But you think about Varsho in center field and kind of like what he does, goes and absolutely gets it. Barger's not really a guy that goes and absolutely gets it, but when he does get it, you're not running.
Yeah.
Average throw from him, 96.5 miles an hour. Like just letting it absolutely eat. So I think it's just funny. Like they're finding ways to extract that defense. He did make some nice plays during the playoffs as well, but like he has just got an absolute cannon, dude. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. Like, yeah, we do like these teams. If you're trying to get me to think about Mariners, Blue Jays, who I like more, it's an interesting like thought process. They're neck and neck. Like I don't even know. Like that's really tough.
They're built very differently. So it's not like you can't like put them side by side and be like, oh, that feels a little bit. I don't know. They're just very different teams, but they're currently the class in the American League.
I think I'm taking Blue Jays offense. I'm taking Seattle starting pitching, and then the bullpens. I think most people would take the Mariners bullpen, like Bizardo and Munoz. But I don't know. There's something about this Toronto bullpen that I'm into right now. I think that's closer to a wash than anything. And then you're taking Toronto's defense. These teams are very close.
You know what else is nice? Tyler Rogers pitches basically the most outings and gets the most results, but he throws weird.
Hey, we both were not happy when he came in. Was it against the Dominican? And Juan Soto, right? Wasn't it Dominican and Juan Soto and got a double play ball?
Yeah.
Well, they took out Skeens. I'll still vote for Skeens. But hey, again, your manager, Mark DeRosa. Are you ready for the over-under?
I got to guess. Let's see. We're high up there, Coach.
We're up there. This is the number 2 team.
I'm going in the 90s, but I don't know how high I'm going in the 90s. And I think there's mostly been a half on these numbers. I'll go 90.5.
The over-under is 92.5.
Oh. Really? Is that the highest we've had so far?
Thumbs up from Dalton.
Sheesh. Okay, so our fans know ball. Is that what you're trying to say?
our fans know ball, and I guess to be trying to be fair to my Toronto brethren, there is a depth of talent on this team. Like we didn't really talk about Cody Ponce a lot. Like what if the
Well, how
light bulb?
can we?
Well, you're right. I mean, 3 for 30 is a weird contract for a pitcher to get, but we've seen some guys figure it out, build up their confidence, get their stuff right, come back. That I guess what I was trying to say is I don't see the rest. I don't necessarily see the recipe for the Blue Jays where some of the other teams you're just like, well, if that works and that works, they'll be good. For the Blue Jays, they got a ton of different ways they can put this together. It's just I have no idea what the final product looks like.
This is so interesting to me. They were pretty much good the entire year last year. Now, if you look at through April, they were 14 and 16. And then after that, they were over 500 and well over 500 the rest of the way through. It's like they were a damn good baseball team last year, and they won 94 games. Like a lot of things went right for the Blue Jays last year, and they won 94 games.
Correct.
The pitching is interesting to me. Like I was kind of like coming into this being like, dude, they're set in every single facet, but the starting pitching does have, at least you have to admit, there are some question marks there. Like some what ifs, if you will.
Yes. I mean,
I think that's fair.
Absolutely.
27 and 20 in 1-run games, 10 and 4 in extra inning games.
The other spin zone there, like ERA wise, their pitching didn't rate out great last year. Like they're in theory that could be room for growth. And you know what? Hit it in the air and let Dalton Varsho get it, or hit it on the ground and let Andres Jimenez get it. I'll undercut
2.5.
I'm going under. That's the number feels high. The division's tough. It's just a tough sport to run it back. I will say I would also put a Vladdy asterisk. Like we saw him turn it on in the postseason again. How old's Vladdy now? 27? They're like, I still think
27 and 6 days. Happy belated birthday. March 16th was his birthday.
Happy birthday, Vladdy. I still think his best regular seasons are ahead of him. It can be wrong. It's just a very high number in a division where, if the Yankees or Red Sox or Orioles won the division, it's not shocking. Like you see the talent on those teams as well. It's a high number.
Toronto's going to hate us. I'm going to take the under as well.
They love it. They're fueled by it. You know what, Trev? We hate Toronto, we hate Seattle, and they've been the best teams in the AL. So maybe
I don't hate either of those teams. Don't put words in my mouth. I did see Mike Trout kill Seattle and freaking bury them himself, and they rose from the dead. I don't hate either of those teams.
I don't either, but I think you know how athletes work. You know how fans work. A little chip on your shoulder.
If Toronto wins the World Series this year, just repeats
right.
Freaking the Kansas City Royals from 10 years ago. It's a simulation, people. Like it just check out. Sharks are older than Sharks are older than fire. And not like people using fire, but the ability to have fire on the earth.
Yeah.
Sharks are older than that.
There wasn't enough oxygen in the atmosphere to be able to have fire. Sharks predate trees. Again, subscribe to Trev and I's science show coming up. The wave, the sunset on the horizon, the island in the middle. Sounds like a day at the beach here. For us, a day at the ballpark. Opening day is here, and La Playa awaits. Get away and get ready for the first pitch. Take the day off. Make opening day a vacation with the Corona pregame show right before the Jomboy Media live stream on March 26th. Warm up for the season with a taste of La Playa. Some of the best players in the game are diving in. Want to know what Jazz has been up to, or PCA thinks will happen on opening day? PCA in the year 2026. We love it. Predictions, rituals, and everything. Baseball's back, baby. Kick off the day with the Corona pregame show on March 26th and let the vacation vibes roll all day long. Corona, this is our playa. And what a way to tee up the best team in baseball, a modern dynasty before our eyes, Coach Trev. It is the Los Angeles Dodgers. They won 93 games last year. They won the World Series. A top 2 offense, I'd say, second in OPS, second in runs, 5th and 6th in average and OBP. The starting pitching stats are pretty impressive. Top 5 in ERA, 7th in WHIP, 1st in K per 9, 1st in hit per 9. The bullpen struggled. They were the best team against teams over 500, which is a pretty good. That's a pretty good stat. You guys know these Dodgers. We know these Dodgers probably too well that we don't talk about them enough for a team that is going out and trying to three-peat this season. Who they lost? Kirby Yates. We were excited when he came in. He had a tough year last year. He went cross town. Go Halos. Anthony Banda. Look, he's in Minnesota. Watch out. Twins mentioned. Estuary Ruiz. I feel like we talk about him in a trade every year. Conforto. Breaking camp with the Cubs. Snaps for Michael Conforto. Michael Kopech and Tony Gonsolin are unsigned. Like, what's... Simulation is broken. Clayton Kershaw, Team USA, and the Heen Dog retired. Snaps for the Heen Dog. We love that. Trev, if we're being honest, the part's out. The part's out. Clayton was actually sneaky good last year because that's all he did his entire career. The other part's out. I don't want to say addition by subtraction, but I think they also had some additions too.
They did. They had the biggest offensive free agent come over, the biggest reliever come over, and okay, that's just adding on to, again, the 2-time defending champs. Kyle Tucker comes over, not on a 10-year deal, not on an 8-year deal, not on a 6-year deal, a 4-year deal worth $240 million. That's 60 M's a year, people. What's in his basement? I think he's like a kind of, I don't want to say like a little more basic. Like I think he's got like Jordans or something.
Oh, okay. I was going to say like I'd say a sick video game setup.
Yeah. So basic. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just, that's
a golden tee. He's got a golden tee and a shuffleboard down there. Which, it's a good time.
Yeah. Don't mock that. That was originally on my dream board. I think I haven't busted that dream board out in a little bit, but yeah.
In like I don't know, do you call this a down year? I don't know. He had 22 homers, 143 OPS plus, and a 4.6 B WAR. Okay. Edwin Diaz says, you know what? I'm not going to play for the Mets anymore in closeout games. I'm going to come over to the Dodgers because they do need some bullpen help. 3 years, 69. Nice. Edwin Diaz, the trumpets, everything that comes along with that. The guy's an absolute stud. 1.63 ERA last year with the Mets in 62 games. Okay. Santiago Espinal comes over on a 1 year, 2.5. He was in Cincinnati last year. Andy Ibanez. Where the heck did I play with Andy Ibanez? The Rangers. 1 year, $1.2 million deal. He comes over from Detroit. Jack Suwinski came off of waivers. Michael Ciani came over off waivers. Ryan Fitzgerald came over off waivers. How about little Keston Hiura on a minor league deal? Okay. They also signed some extensions and re-signed some guys. Max Muncy gets a 1 year, 10 extension. 136 OPS plus last year. 3.6 B WAR in 100 games for Max Muncy. Okay. He's like the 8th player you talk about on this team, and he can carry an offense with the best of them. Evan Phillips back 1 year, 6.5. Of course, Miggy Rowe, because Ohtani said he has to come play again. So he gets 1 year, $5.5 million. And then Kike, because why wouldn't he? He's like the biggest star in LA besides Ohtani. If you're out and about in LA and you see Ohtani and Mookie and Kike and Freddie Freeman, it's weird to say this, and maybe I'm going to get some pushback, but in my opinion, it's Ohtani, and then everyone's going to Kike. They just love this guy, dude. They just love him. 1 year, 4.5 for him. What does that have to do with baseball? Nothing. Let's get to the lineup, because that does have something to do with baseball. Let's talk about a lineup that I'm looking, and obviously I like. And Shohei Ohtani at the top of it, Kyle Tucker in the 2-hole backing up Shohei Ohtani. Behind them is Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy. Now Teoscar Hernandez, he has, can have massive hits. He can have a big time season. He's kind of the first, I guess, question mark. So you have 6 just like solid all-star level players in this lineup. Then you get Teoscar, who's probably been an all-star, hasn't he? He won the home run derby 2 years ago. So he was an all-star. Andy Pages, go look at the stats last year. He's an absolute stud. And then right now we have Miggy Rojas listed at second base. Tommy Edman had ankle surgery. He'll be out until mid-May. On the bench, Alex Call, Santiago Espinal, Alex Freeland, and then the backup catcher is Dalton rushing. Kike also returning from surgery in late May. We did have, I think just today that it happened, our guy Hyesung Kim, who was my breakout potential player in the NL West, is going to start the year in the minor leagues. I don't know what's going on with that. I think they just want to get him reps. I don't. Dodger fans, tell me what I'm missing, because I like the player a lot and he just doesn't ever play. So that's interesting to me. So that's the lineup, Jake. Obviously, they're very good. I like it a lot. Let's talk about the rotation in the bullpen.
This is where things somehow get scarier. The rotation as of right now: Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Shohei Ohtani. Wait, I thought he was in the lineup. Emmett Sheehan, Roki, baila la Roki, listed as the 5th starter. And then we might be doing some piggyback 6 starter stuff with Robleski and Sheehan. Snell should be out until May. Gavin Stone is also eyeing some May. So that pitching depth, some prospects, River Ryan, check out on that, Trev. That feels like a Trev guy. Kyle Hurt, that feels more like a Dalton guy. In the bullpen, Edwin Diaz, you mentioned that. The trumpets are coming over, right? Like that's his thing, because that's going to be hype.
Yeah, it will be.
Tanner Scott, last year's big free agent ad, who just DNP CD during the postseason. Vesia is back. We love that. Will Klein, Blake Trinan, Jack Dreyer, Edgardo Enriquez. Remember when he came out throwing a hunch? Robleski, and it's the age of Kasparius. UConn go Huskies. Brewstars eyeing May. Evan Phillips in July. Why not? Brock Stewart, your guy. A chance early on this season. So as we all know, if you've made it through all of our team profile and projections, even if you don't, even if you just tuned into this one, you kind of know that these guys are the guys. And I think, Trev, I don't know. I don't want to fast forward because this gets into over-under a little bit. But, last year's regular season wasn't too gaudy. Like, the Brewers had the best record in the NL. The Padres were in the NL West till the final weekend. Just between starting pitching injuries, between the offense never fully clicking, and between the bullpen being like a legit Achilles heel, I mean, in a way, it's all upside for a Dodgers team that's going for a three-peat.
Yeah, I mean, they addressed issues, and you have to, especially talking about the bullpen, you have to envision the year going better for them. There's some real arm talent out there that you just expect it. I mean, there's no way it could go the same way it did last year or become worse. So I'm in on it. I know what you're saying. I was looking at kind of like what they did last year, because then there was 93 games last year is what they won. And I think they were projected to win like 100 or something like that. It was a massive number last year. That's what like Pacoda had of that. 6-0 in March. That was cool. 15-10 in April. May they were 15-12. June they were 17-10. And the only slip up they really had was July. They went 10-14. Then it was 15-13, 15-10. So like they were still a winning team despite some of those struggles. Now 25-24 and 1-run games last year. A lot of that has to do with bullpen stuff right there. So that looks to me like they could probably get better in that regard. 8-7 in extra inning games. I don't know. We're kind of getting into some weird stuff with the Dodgers because I don't know what can you dive into. This is a very, very good baseball team. Maybe you talk about like, is some of the core aging? I guess you like
Whoa.
let's just go. That's like I think Dodgers get gassed up all the time.
You're sick.
If you came here to get to have the Dodgers gassed up, like, all right, like we're probably gonna do that a lot. Like let's I think it's more fun to talk about like what can go wrong for the Dodgers. Is that weird? Am I gonna have people tell me I hate the Dodgers because I'm asking these questions?
Yeah, I can't believe you went there because I want to go because this is the time to gas. This is gas season.
Okay. I mean, I'm ready to gas too, dude.
And you know where I get mine. It's time for the new segment, Who's Gonna Deliver, presented by Amazon. Just like how Amazon is there to save the day when you're in a pinch. Let's talk about a player who's going to step up and save their team when it matters most. How about the best player ever? Shohei Ohtani's returning to full-time two-way baseball, Trev. How do you like that for a chance for the Dodgers to maybe improve? He didn't pitch last year due to Tommy John. We kept saying and hoping that he was going to do so. He was rehabbing in the bullpen during the postseason. And we're like, I don't use those on the field, pal. But we're idiots. And Shohei's the best ever that he is going to be back in the rotation this year. And I don't know. We saw him go 50-50. We've seen him do pretty much everything only he can do on a baseball field. And he's back to two-way Ohtani.
I'm very excited to see it. Again, I tell people all the time, whoever will listen to me, just go watch them play. Like you're going to be able to say you watch Shohei Ohtani play in person. That's like, you have to do that. If you're a baseball fan, you have to do that. I think you got to catch him on the road. I think that's fun. Catch him on the road. Check him out. He's an absolute stud. I mean, I'm going to take back what I said about the Dodgers aging because Mookie's only 32 years old. I know we're talking about Shohei right now. For some reason, I had
Mookie's 32?
Yeah.
What?
Where'd you have him?
I thought Mookie was I thought Mookie was like 35, 36.
I had him there as well. Dalton's saying 33 now. He must have just turned 33. Oh no, he's 33 and 166. Okay. He entered last year at 32. I was looking at their team page last year.
Okay.
Still younger than I had him.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Shohei? Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. Dude. No, it's gas season. I don't know, dude. Just be more historic.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what else is there to say about this guy? We're going to see him pitch. So to me, that means I feel like is he a better hitter when he's pitching, or is he just really good all the time? In my mind, I had that like, oh, he really likes to be on the mound and pitching as well. But I think he just doesn't care and just absolutely rakes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like
2024 was a full year of DHing, and he won 1036. Last year was 1014. The year before that, 1066. 3 straight years of one dotting. And his best OPS plus was 2024. So I have no idea what I'm talking about. I think he's just always good. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's why you told them. It's why you tell the people go see this guy, because I don't know if it ends in 12 years. I don't know if it ends in 2 years. And when I say ends, I mean to a different degree. Like we've daydreamed about Ohtani as a closer. We've daydreamed about a lot of different things with this guy because he could daydream about anything because that's what he does. And basically, so do our friends at Amazon. Thanks to our partners. Shop Amazon. Save on essentials. Save the everyday. I guess, okay, so there was some Ohtani gas. We gassed Mookie.
Hold on one second.
What?
I feel like I'm getting some of my Ohtani years confused right now. I was just looking at his page. 2024 was his recovering from TJ. He was DHing the entire time. And he had a 9.2 WAR as a DH?
The 50-50 year, right?
That's insane. What's the highest ever for a DH besides that? That's got to be the highest ever.
I mean,
is it a David Ortiz, like a 6 WAR year? It's got to be.
Oh, okay. What's next? That's a good question. Dalton and Rob are both on it right now live. That's how we'll do it live, people.
How about this? Let's talk about Mookie. Like, what do we expect from Mookie this year? It was interesting. Like, let's just give the, Dodger fans know this, but a weird start to the year. He was like sick, lost a bunch of weight, like really struggled to put it back on, feel like himself physically. got to a point where he just was feeling so awful at the plate and just in general that he said, I'm just going to play for my team and not worry about my statistics. That it's a lost year. Do you know he ended up with a 4.9 WAR last year?
Yeah, man.
So what are we talking about?
Where, as we've done all these teams, we talk about grading teams on different scales or whatever. The Dodgers are on a completely different planet. Because you're right. I mean, Mookie, the Mookie speech is he could be primed for an amazing year. That whole thing at the start of last year was bizarre. Lost a ton of weight right before the season. Not a naturally thick boy, as I can speak from that committee. But yeah, I don't know. I know Freddie's moons are getting up there. He feels like a guy that he's going to be hitting at Dodger spring training until he's in his early 70s. And dude, I think last regular season, it felt like they didn't have the sauce. And I don't know if that's just bullpen. I don't know if that's, I talked about it a little bit. Remember the second half of their lineup was really thin for a little bit. All I see is upside. And it just feels like it's a mindset of how much do they really want a regular season to be that special. And if there's any team that's ever deserved to not fully care, it is this team. So I have a hope for that. I hope one of our topics this year is we're talking about the Dodgers and can they win 112 games? Like what are they on pace for? That would be a really fun storyline. I do think it'll be interesting to see. And Trev, this is the dirty secret of the Dodgers. They have an amazing farm system. So at some point, whether it's the trade deadline or whether it's next year, or if one of these guys just makes a jump, they're going to have reinforcements on the way. And this team isn't limited in any way, whether it's monetary limits, whether it's prospect limits, whether it's major league talent. They're the class on every front.
Kyle Tucker has had 2 different years of driving in 100+ runs in 2022, 107, 2023, 112. He's going to have Shohei Ohtani hitting in front of him, a guy that can get on base and run like the wind. And then behind him, again, we're having a Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman discussion. It seems to me like we might see Kyle Tucker's best year this year. Entering this season at the ripe age of 29 years old with all of that protection. And I think the analytics say that doesn't matter, right? Isn't that what we've come to say? I don't know about that. I feel like it does. So maybe I'm just an old head right now. Me and John Smoltz talking crap, but you can't tell me that if you were to guess if this was going to be a career offensive year, in runs driven in, probably runs scored as well. Like I'm taking that bet every single time. I can't wait to see what we do because we have heard things like Kyle Tucker doesn't have to be the star in this team. That's the beauty of it. He can just show up to the park and just kind of fit right in and just kind of like be himself. He doesn't have to be a clubhouse leader. He doesn't have to be the guy that's doing everything on the field because he's surrounded by so much freaking talent. That to me takes some weight off the shoulders, a little bit more comfortable. Like all these things you may not be able to put a number on them, but I'm telling you, they mean something, man. So look out for Kyle Tucker. I think Dodger fans are probably really, really optimistic as to what they're going to get because we've just heard so much, and he's making $60 million a year. I know some of it's deferred, but the expectations are high, but I think they're going to be rewarded with a hell of a season by Kyle Tucker this year.
Yeah, and I think that's in a sick part when these team profile and projections, like on a lot of other teams, we could do a whole Mookie's going to bounce back and be better than ever. How long have we talked about Kyle Tucker having his complete season like this? If that happens this year, I mean, it would be insanity. Shohei's playing both ways again. That their high-end capabilities are there. Teoscar's numbers were sneaky, like, whoa, last year. It'll be interesting to see if that's who he is. I know we respect him come the postseason. But just something to track. But no, man, like for other teams, we'd be talking about Teoscar as hopefully their bounce back cleanup hitter. And for the Dodgers, it's just like, oh, Teo's good, dude. Like he's he's gonna bop when we need him. And Trev, shout out Dalton Feely with some DH stats. Edgar Martinez, your leader in the clubhouse, 7.1 B WAR in 95. And there's been 6 DHs that have had 6+ B WAR seasons. Ohtani, Edgar, Frank, Thomas, Ortiz, Jordan, and JD Martinez. People forget.
So JD Martinez, real stud.
Right?
What else can we talk about? We got some Roki Sasaki notes here. You know, there's a lot of talk about his fastball shape and how like it's not a great shape. So the Dodgers, I'm sure, are working on that, adding a third pitch as well. You know, they want to keep him as a starter. We saw him kind of start to become the de facto closer there in the postseason. I think that's something to keep an eye on. Like, how is he going to respond year 2? A little bit better of an understanding of, you know, this season and how the game is played in the States. I feel like you have to bank on him being better this year. And if not, I wonder what the process is. Like, you know, like I know Katie Wu has an article out about like, is it fair to ask, like, is he gonna get, if it doesn't pan out the way they want it to in the first, call it 3-4 weeks, like, do they send him to AAA to kind of like hone his arsenal a little bit? And the Dodgers have that ability to do that with their depth. So that's kind of what is a separator here. I think the guys that I'm watching on this team, as far as like, what are they going to look like? I think it's Mookie. I think it's Roki Sasaki. And I was gonna say Tanner Scott, but then they added Edwin Diaz. So like, what does he even have? Like, I think those two, Mookie and Sasaki, I'm very curious to see how they end up.
Yeah, and that falls under, I mean, Roki's the perfect example, and he's normally the one I default to. Like, a lot of teams wouldn't be talking about the option of, if Roki's not great, maybe we send him down to AAA for a little bit, figure it out. Like, a lot of teams, he would be their main gem piece, and the Dodgers get to operate a little differently there. And like you said, they also got Katie Wu. So if you're looking for actual Dodgers insight, go read from our friend Katie Wu this year. Anything else, Coach, or is it the final over under?
I'm trying to think of like what else we have to talk about with them.
It's honestly, and you started going down this path, and it is a real conversation, but is Mookie Betts a different player? Is Freddie Freeman a different player? If Kyle Tucker were to have a bad season, that conversation could get really loud and weird because he was the first star that got a mega star contract that didn't kind of feel right. But also look at Kyle Tucker's baseball reference page. He doesn't have bad seasons. That's why he got the contract. So no, man, it's all okay. What if their pitching gets real hurt again? And by one point of the season, their rotation is Robleski, River Ryan, Kyle Hurt, Gavin Stone. I don't know. Guess what? 2 of those guys will probably be studs. Like they are operating on a different level.
Over-unders, what is it?
You got a guess or no?
I mean, we just did the Blue Jays at 92.5. I'm giving the Dodgers at least 2 games on that. So I think that's a good one for you, 94.5.
Well, Trev, you've been great on these all year. The Dodgers over-under is 102.5.
No, it's not. Are you under? Like, what are we doing? They don't care about the regular season.
It's a big number.
Wow.
They kind of don't care about the regular season.
So last year I thought it wasn't the book that was given the big numbers, but it was like Pacoda and those type of simulations. This is like Vegas.
Careful when you say simulations.
I know. I'm having a great simulation.
Yeah, you really are.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. Wow, 102.5. Yeah, under.
It's a big number. And you and I have been hunting for unders throughout, which
Yeah,
makes
it's an
that a
easy
little
one for us to
tricky.
take. They win 98 games to win the NL West.
Right. They won 93 last year. They did get better.
They did get a lot better. And Shohei's pitching.
Yeah. I'll
Wow,
I'll
you know what?
fade
Sharp play might be the over.
I'm gonna fade the fade. I'm gonna go over. I know I've had way too many overs, but I'm just gonna believe this year. And I think it would be the dude, their bullpen was bad last year. And there's no reason for that.
All right.
The safe bet is the under. I'll go over because I also like to live dangerously. Shout out Dalton Feely putting together 30 team profile and projections for us to get through. Rob Scirocco producing his butt off. Thank you guys for letting us do a new format this year to give us a little more sanity. Speaking of sanity, I guess baseball's back.
Just give us one last.
Oh!
We're here, Coach.
Baila la Rocky. Snap it.